Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well. So guys, in today's video we'll see how we can create multiple VMs in Terraform. So we'll use a feature of Terraform, that is a count variable that we'll use here. So in Terraform we cannot use loops like we use in previous programming language, just like for loop, if else loop. So we are not having that kind of concept here in Terraform, but we are having concept of count and for each. So we can use these functionality in order to create things related to loop. So let's start our today's video. So as you can see my screen, so this is the same code that I have used in my previous videos also, where I have cleared how we can create a virtual machine, step by step creation of virtual machine using Terraform code. So those who are not aware about how to create this code, so I have created step by step of each resource code, and I haven't remembered anything. I have just copy pasted the instructions from the documentation available from Terraform side. So the same code we have used in our previous video, I'm going to use the same code. So this is basically a virtual machine code where the resources that we are using here is Azure resource group, virtual network, subnet, and then public IP, then network interface. After that we need to use network security group, and then we need to make an association between network interface and the security group, and the last resource that we create is the virtual machine. So I have given clear explanation why I have used these resources. So in today's video, there was not much theory involved, so I'm just referring directly the practical session. So here, firstly, we need to understand that in order to create multiple things, what all things needs to be create multiple times. So as we can see this code, so in this code, the resource group, we can go with the same resource group. So in a single resource group, we can create multiple resources. So we don't need to create multiple resource group here. Similarly, in case of virtual network, when we create a virtual network, then in this particular virtual network range 10.0.0.0/16, we have multiple IPs inside it. So we don't need to create multiple virtual network here. Similarly, in case of subnet, the range that we are using is 10.0.2.0/24. So here also we are having multiple IPs, so we don't need to go with multiple subnet. But yes, in the fourth resource that we are having here is the public IP. So public IP is the IP that will get assigned to your virtual machine. So if we are creating suppose three virtual machines, so there should be three public IPs, so that one IP can be attached to one machine individually. So here we need to create multiple public IP. So how we can create it? We need to do two things only. So firstly, what we need to do? We need to add a variable that is count, and we can give its value just like 2. Okay, if we want to create two virtual machine, so we can make its value just like this. And second, what we need to do, the name of the public IP we need to change. So how we'll change its name? We'll just go at the end of this name, which is 1, and then we can put in hyphen. After that we can put curly braces. Inside that we need to use count dot index, and then space, we can give it value increment by 1. So why we did it? Because count index always start from 0. So if we are giving count value 2, it will start with 0. So 0 and 1 will be the value. But we want to increment it by 1, so that the name should go with 1 and 2. So suppose the name of the IP will go with acceptance test public IP TP1 hyphen, it will give 1, and then again it will give hyphen 2. So we are just incrementing it value by 1, because its indexing value start from 0, not from 1. And before that we need to put a dollar sign also, so that it can pick its value. So now this looks good. So now it will create two public IP, and if we'll go to next resource, so it is interface, network interface. So it is a kind of NIC card that we put inside virtual machine. So we need to create multiple NIC cards here also. So what we'll do similar thing here. We'll copy this and we'll put in the name of network interface name will give the same parameter here. And now location we don't need to change, resource group we don't need to change, IP we don't need to change, and subnet ID no need, IP address location no need. But in case of public IP address ID, as we have created multiple public IP here, so here when we call it, so we need to give the local name, that is example. So Azure underscore public IP dot example. So now we need to use an array feature here. So we'll go with this and we'll pass count dot index. Okay, so now count value will go with 1 and then count value will go with 2. So in this case, we can go with count dot index, not with +1, because actual its argument is started from 0 and 1. So we want example 0 to be assigned and then example 1 will get assigned. Why we are incrementing here? If we don't want, to get it increment by 1, because if we'll not go by increment 1, it will give the name just like example hyphen nic hyphen 0 and an example hyphen nic hyphen 1, but we want the name should be increment by 1, so that it should go with example hyphen nic hyphen 1 and example hyphen nic hyphen 2. So when we'll do a plan, then I'll show you why this is 0, why this is 1. So as of now we can go with it. And one thing we can also add here is the count variable, because that is necessary. So we'll use a variable count and we'll use its value 2. Okay, now this is also done, and we'll go to network security group. So security group is basically the part where we open the ports. So we want to open these 3 ports to all the machines, so we don't need to do any modification, because we are not having anything related to nic, anything related to public IP in this section. So we don't need to use index feature here. Next, we are going with network security group association with the interface ID. So here we are seeing that network interface ID here. So here what we need to do, we need to make the array element here also, because its value will have the count parameter. So we'll use count dot index. So this is also done, and here count equals to 2 is mentioned here. So we are good. And in the next also we are using the virtual machine, so count equals to 2 we have mentioned here. And here also I think, yes, this is done. So now in case of network interface, we have given it to be count.index and its value is 2. We are now going to Linux virtual machine. So here count equals to 2 I have already placed, and in this name we need to give the same parameter, so that its name should get increment by 1. Now every machine will have one host name also. So one parameter here is the computer name that I have added with host name. So we need to get it increment by 1 using count. So we'll place this parameter here also. So we are good with host name also. Now every virtual machine will have one disk attached, so we need to get it variabilize also. So here we'll pass the same thing in case of disk name. So this is also assigned now. So looks like our code is ready. We are good with it. And let's do it scan again from the top. So there is only one resource group, one virtual network, one sub network. And in case of public IP, we need to get it increment using count.index, and the value of count is here as a 2. And here we are having the name of the network interface that we have variabilized, that is okay. And in case of IP address, we are also variabilizing it with count.index, so that is also good. And in case of network security group association, we have variabilized, so we are good. All the parameters are set. Now we can do one more thing. We can variabilize this count also. As of now we can save it, and here we are seeing that everywhere we need to use count equals to 2, count equals to 2. So we can get it maintained from a single location. So for that, what we need to do, we need to create a file that is variables.tf. So let's create it. Okay, and in this variables.tf we will firstly go to Google, we'll check the syntax. Terraform variable syntax, so we can go here and we can copy the code related to variable. So we can go with the smallest one, the first variable, copy it, paste it here. Okay, now we can give it a variable name like count, and here we can give, let's see what type of variable it is a number. So we can see that what all variable types we are having here. So here if it is a string we can go with number. So I'll change its type to number because we'll use a number here for its value. So this variable is declared now. We can go and save it. Now what we'll do, we'll go to our main.tf, and everywhere we are having count equals to 2, we'll replace it with var.count. var.count. Similarly, we'll go to here also with var.count, and in the third place we can go here also with var.count, and then here also we can go with var.count. So looks like we are good. Let's check it again. So in public IP, count equals to var.count. Similarly, in case of Azure network interface, it's var.count. And in case of network interface security, we don't need it. In case of association, we need it. So that is done. In case of virtual machine, that is also done. Now we'll create one more file with the name. Suppose we are giving terraform.tf vars. Okay, so in this file we'll give the actual value name. So count equals to 2. Save. Why we did it? So here we need to get it save also. Now our all files are saved. So if we want to make suppose two virtual machine, so we'll go to this file and we'll make its value 2. Everywhere in main.tf where we are referring it, it will get increment by 2. So if we'll not create this particular variables.tf file and this tf vars, every time we need to create more VM, suppose we need to create 3 VM, we need to change its value here, we need to change its value here. Everywhere we are using count, we need to get it changed. But the beauty of this terraform.tf vars files is that will change the variables only here. We don't need to get it changed to this main.tf file, which is our actual code. So we are good with it. And in my previous video I have explained that we can pass these variables on command line also. So in order to make automation, we need to go with command lines parameter. But if we want to get it test on our local, we can go with this file terraform.tf vars, and we can place the value of variable here. So I hope we are good with it, and let's go to get this initialized. Okay, so it is saying that the variable name count is reserved due to its special meaning inside module block. Okay, so let's go with variables and let's change its name is to be number. We can give it just like number of machines. Number of machines. Okay, we can get it save, and then we can go to our terraform.tf files, where firstly let's go to main.tf, and here we can go with var dot number of machines, and here also we can go with var dot number of machines. Similarly, we can go with where dot number of machines, where dot number of machines. So we are good. I think at every place we have placed this, so we'll go and we'll save it. And now we'll go to tfvars, and here also we'll use number of virtual machines equals to 2. So let's see whether it took it or not. So what it is saying, it is not no, it is number of virtual machines equals to 2. So we are good now. Now if we'll go and let gets it initialized, so it is working now. So in this way, there might be some error comes when we create some code first time, as count is used or it's a reserved name. So that's why we cannot take it, because I haven't used it previously. I used it first time here, so I was not aware. That's why we just changed it. So we need to actually give focus on the errors also, what kind of errors we are getting, because we need to be able to get it troubleshoot that what kind of error it is and how we can troubleshoot it. So we have just initialized the module here. Now let's go with Terraform Plan, and here I'll show you why I was going with increment of one value for that count. So now it is saying okay, and it is saying in the line 71, the resource block Azure Network Interface example ID, because Azure Network Interface example has count set. So we have done some mistakes. So let's go to line 71, and here I think we did, yes, we did one mistake here. That network interface, we need to pass the array as we have passed everywhere. So here we forgot it to get passed. So let's pass that array. So we have now passed. Let's get it save, and let's do that Terraform plan again. So again it is saying there is some problem here. So in case of value of virtual machines, so because Azure Linux virtual machine is also having count, so we need to get it increment, and it's which line, it's output. In output, now we need to go, and here we are actually fetching the output related to one virtual machine only, but now we want instance IP and instance name for both the machines. So we need to go to example, and here we need to give one splat expression. So that is basically star. If we use angle bracket and then star, it will give you value of all the machines that got created along with the IP of those machines. So let's get it save. Now let's again do a plan, and let's see whether it works or not. So looks like it works this time. So this kind of errors we usually get when we do things in Terraform, so we need to be able to get it sorted out. So now if you'll see in the output, the IP address of the machine will known once we'll do apply the changes, but instance name we can see as of now example hyphen machine hyphen 1 and hyphen 2. So now let's go above, and I'll show you that indexing piece. So if you'll go here, you can go and see that in case of security group association, indexing is coming 0 and 1. Why it is coming? Because if we'll go to our main.tf, we are using count.index, and count index always start from 0. So that's why it is giving 0 and 1, and we have increment the value in case of name by 1. So that will get increment and will not get with 0 and 1. That's why in the output we are seeing example hyphen machine hyphen 1, example hyphen machine hyphen 2. So we are good. Now we can go with Terraform apply, and in case of confirmation we need to get it approve. So we need to get it pass with yes, it will accept only yes. So we give it yes, and now it will get create two virtual machines. So here we can see it is creating two public IP with 0 and 1 indexing, and it is also getting creating now the vnet and the subnet. Again, it is creating two interfaces with 0 and 1. So that's why counts always start from 0. So if we give it value like 2, it will do for 0 and 1 only. And again, now it is creating those network interfaces. Post completion of that, it will create further resources that got remained. And in the end, it will create our two virtual machines. So as we can see, now virtual machine 0, example 0, and virtual machine example 1 is getting created. So in this way, we can use looping feature in Terraform, because here we are not having those traditional loops that we were using in different programming language, just like for loop, if else loop, do while loop. So we are not having those kinds of loop feature here, but we are having two things here which we can use as a loop, that is count or for each. So count we are using in our today's video, and in my next video I'll go with for each, because I'll show you what's the difference in between these two and where we need to use which one. So that I'll show you in my next video what is that for each loop. So as of now, we are seeing that these two virtual machines are getting created and it is completed. So here we can see two IPs of both the virtual machines, and here in the instance name, that is example hyphen machine hyphen 1, example hyphen machine hyphen 2. So now let's go to our cloud, and here if we'll go to virtual machines, so we can see example hyphen machine hyphen 1, example hyphen machine hyphen 2 created. And what is the IP of example hyphen machine hyphen 1? It is 20.44.59.85. It is 20.44.59.85. And what is the second one? In case of second one, it is 20.44.59.45. It is 20.44.59.45. So now let's check whether we are able to log into these machine or not. So we'll open a putty session, we'll put the IP, we'll go inside it, we'll do accept, and we are not aware about the username and the password. So we'll go here, and here we can check its admin user and the password. So we can log in it with admin user, and password is this one. So this is our very first machine, and here we have changed the host name also. So we can see hostname hyphen 2, and if we'll get it out, let's check with the another machine, that is the first machine. So we don't need to go to cloud because we can get values from here. So if we'll go to putty, and if we'll put the IP here, so we are inside it now. Let's get login with the login ID and the password that we declared in our virtual machine section. So now we are inside hostname 1. So we are good with this practical demo. So guys, I'm done with today's practical demo, and once we are done, then we need to get it destroy. So we'll go with destroy, else it will consume cost, because in cloud everything is having some cost behind. So once we are done with our task, it's better to get them destroyed. So as of now, it is refreshing, so it is taking parameters from there on the cloud. And now if we'll go with yes, so it will destroy both the machines along with all the resources else. So guys, I'm done with today's video. So I hope you liked this video and you understood the concept how we can create multiple resources. And guys, if you like this video, so please subscribe to my channel, and please also give a like to this video, and I'll see you in my next video.